I'm doing this video today because I want to talk to you about three kind of areas that we as a family are struggling with at the moment. The areas that I'm going to discuss which are Daniel's behavioural issues, his challenging behaviour, our home care hours and respite. There are three key important areas to look after Daniel, but at the minute we're not getting the help by the HSE correctly for Daniel's needs. Within the behaviour or challenging behaviour, the type of behaviour that we're dealing with is quite challenging on a day-to-day basis. Now, mainly it is in the home, so it's not a huge thing that I need help on, but for the home we do need it. It's where Daniel would have lots of meltdowns. He slaps me and hits me an awful lot. To himself, he can kind of, scratch his face, he can bite his legs, he would bang his hands off his legs. He would bang his head constantly off objects, presses, anything he can get feedback from. Now, we do have a sensory room, we do have a behaviour plan that we try and work towards. We're doing all the best as parents that we can do, and we've seeking advice of therapists that we have worked with within Daniel's school. But I suppose we do need more help on this. We have gone to see a psychiatrist, we have gone to see a psychologist, but they feel they're of no help to us. That at this stage Daniel needs a behavioural analyst or therapist to work with us. And it's something that is not on offer to us as parents. It's not a service that can be given freely to us either. Within the three areas that we're struggling with, I decided that I would go and meet a member of the HSS team and the disability team to discuss these matters further. I wasn't going for a fight. I've been emailing with regard to these issues for 4 years, probably a little bit longer, looking for these services and looking for help. But I just feel, that I wasn't getting the help. So I found that I would go and meet them. So in meeting with them, and the meeting went kind of well, we did discuss what I was dealing with. But what came back to me, I was very shocked, like what was said back to me. I was quite shocked. Now, I didn't take offence by it, but I'm just wondering, is it a new spin-off line that's going to be given to a lot of parents? It was told to me that if I need behavioural support, it wouldn't be on offer as a service from the HSE. But the fact that I get carers allowance and domiciliary allowance, that I should seek and pay that for myself for Daniel. That's where the money should be going. Now, again, I said I take no offence by that, but my opinion on that is I would get domiciliary allowance. I do use it on Daniel and for Daniel's needs. The carers allowance that I get is to care for Daniel because I can't work, so I have to match up the needs in the home. I said to keep our home, to keep the bills going, and that's natural, and I'm sure everyone else feels like that. It's not that I want to be a carer, but that's the role that I now have to take on in life. Within the kind of domiciliary payment, I understand that should be used for the needs of the child, but at the end of the day, if you then have a need, where is the service to meet to get, to use that payment? And there's no service there. Why should I, as a parent who's dealing with 24-hour day care for Daniel, then have to go out and look for this care, then have to go and try and source this care, then have to go and pay for it, and it wouldn't be the amount that domiciliary pays, so I would have to fund some more of it myself. I really feel that the HSE should provide this service for me. The way I look at it is, I told about this problem in 2014. Daniel was 6 then. I'm still talking about this problem now in 2018, and Daniel's 11. He is 3 stone heavier. He is now my height. So it would be an issue that Daniel would be hurting me now. If I have to go on another 4 years, Daniel just being 16, Daniel will be nearly his daddy's height. And if Daniel is doing that to me then at that stage, my only option would be, the family's only option would be then to put Daniel into residential care. Now, if Daniel goes into residential care, nothing that I would do and that would break my heart, then the country would have to pay for Daniel. Shouldn't I say the country, then the government would have to pay for Daniel. The HSE would have to fund that. So why not help me now with behavioural support? It's not going to change the problem, but to help me to cope with this, to look at it, to manage it, so that I can have a better life, that Keith can have a better life, that Shauna can have a better life, that the most important person can have a better life. We feel like we're a hostage situation in our home because we cannot go out anywhere with Daniel for his behaviour. Now, we do our best and we do try and bring him out. It is very hard for us to explain to people why he acts that way, but we do our best. Daniel doesn't understand our world, but what we've been trying to do is to make the world understand Daniel And that's what inclusion is about, and getting everyone to understand. But we are hoping to get Daniel to meet 50-50 on that he can have some fun in our world, that he doesn't just live locked up in his little world where he can't talk, where he has issues with sight, where he has sensory issues, that he's not locked up and kept in that little world for the rest of his life, which we don't want him to. We want him to be part of life and included and to live a happy life like everyone else. And that's my first thing. My second thing then would be our home care hours. And we get 8 hours a week, and I'm very happy that we get these hours. It is a break for myself. And I'm not going to turn around and say the company that we get that off is bad. They do their best. But again, to match Daniel's needs, it isn't really working. And it's unfair on these. They're trying their best. They're at a loss what to do with Daniel. They're at a loss where to bring Daniel. They're at a loss what they could do. So they could end up walking around 2 hours with Daniel, not knowing what to do. Now, that's fine, he's getting out for a lovely walk, but where they feel they'd love to bring him on further, they can't. 2 hours is fine at the minute with our lovely weather, but 2 hours in winter isn't fine. Again, they're at a loss what to do with Daniel, and again, because of his behaviour, we have to, to look at that. And the third thing then we have to talk about is respite, which is probably a big issue with everyone is in this country as well that are carers. I would now be given 6 weekends a year, which is stated, but I only get 3. We get it from a private company that the HSC work with, and that's fine. It doesn't 100% match Daniel's needs, but I have nothing else where to put Daniel. There's nothing to match Daniel's needs. But again, I'm not going to fault the company that give us that. They're excellent. We work brilliantly with them, and they do everything to help us. But what's happening with that respite at the minute? Families like myself, who are now in those situations that I speak that I could be in 4 years' time, have no option but to leave their child in respite, where they cannot manage their child anymore. So they're then looking for a placement of residential care or maybe a home or help to support their child. They're making those decisions. They're making that harsh decision that myself and Keith do not want to make for our son. So in effect on that, on myself and the other families that use this respite service, we're being left with no respite. We've now been currently told that I will not have respite from now until the middle of August. The biggest issue for me on that is that I'm going to miss my brother's wedding in August. I will not be able to go to that wedding because I have no one to care for Daniel because of his needs. None of my neighbours who are great supports can help me out to care for Daniel. None of my family can help care for Daniel. They're not equipped to care for him. I myself, probably not equipped to care for Daniel, but as I've been his mother, I would do everything for Daniel, as was his dad, Keith. And we do everything for Daniel. So we feel that we're being held to ransom again by the HSC. You have no respite, not our fault. But it is your fault. The reason why we have to wait to get respite is because it takes 6 weeks to get that funding for that child. So until the funding's released, the other families will suffer. Well, I believe we should not suffer. I believe that the HSC should really look after us. We don't ask for the biggest things. We do everything for our son. We do the best for our son. I advocate for Dan because he has no voice. I have been told I will not get a social worker, so I will have to do this all on my own. I am a strong person, but by God as the HSC, they're pushing me up against a wall more and more lately, that I'm finding it so hard to keep going. And I do keep going. People may think, oh, Daniel goes to school and he's gone from 8 to 4. Oh, Sinead has a great time. Sinead has space, as what the HSC told me. You have space then, what are you talking about? They don't realise that I'm up from 3 in the morning. I've had Daniel, and I've had Daniel with that challenged behaviour, and he goes to school and I'm exhausted. But then I get on with my day for Shauna. I show her then she has a mammy and she deserves a quality of life, and she's suffering. By God, is she suffering? She has come to me now. She feels, how is she going to study for her exams? How is she going to have a life? Is what she says to me at 14 now. And I said, Shauna, you will, and Mammy will fight for you. And that's what I do between the hours of 8 to 4:30. I might go for a road. I am entitled to eat. And I am entitled to have the same as other parents when their children go to school. If I could work, I'd work in those hours. But I can't. But I am entitled to have the same as every other parent out there, and that is time. No one would turn to any other parent that doesn't have a child with special needs and say, well, what do you do at your hours 8 to half 4? That's your respite. No one would say that, and we can't be matched to them. We're not the same. And I don't expect anyone to be able to walk in my shoes, and I wouldn't want anyone to. We're totally different. It's totally different, and you can't compare us to that. We don't have the same life as anyone else, and we're striving to want the same life as other people. It's just getting harder and harder and harder for us. We need respite. I need respite to make sure that I'm a fully functional, physically and mentally able for Daniel. Physically, I have it sorted. I go to the gym and I run. I look after myself mentally as I do go and get counselling. So I'm doing all of my bit. But where's the other help for me? Where's the help for Dan? When are you going to start waking up to this? We have the Minister for Disability, and you're doing a strategic plan for progressing in disability. Is that just lip service to us? It hasn't progressed. It's a slow turning cog wheel. It's not progressing. It's the same as it was 5 years ago, the same as it was before. It's not changing. We are not progressive enough. We are not proactive enough. You're giving blanket payments out to everyone. You're not looking at the needs of the individual child. Each child is an individual and has a right to life and education to match their needs, disability or not. They have a right to life, to have fun, to be a part of life. And my son is not getting that, as a lot of other children. We need now to start looking at what are the needs of the children, what are the needs of the family. No two families are the same. We have single parent families that are looking after kids. They need help. We have other families that have children that are worse than Daniel, who have higher medical needs. They need more and more help. But then there's me, who has Daniel, who has behavioural issues. I'm only asking for one thing. I'm asking for support in that, but I'm also asking to sort out my respite problem. I cannot accept this anymore. I cannot keep doing emails. I cannot keep making phone calls. To what? These are building a higher and higher and higher wall. And to turn to me and say, pay for yourself, look for yourself. What are the HSC then all about? We're supposed to work together. We don't want to be against you, but you're making us turn against you. By working together, we can make this better, but you're not willing to. And you're just telling us it's all about money. And it shouldn't be all about money. It should be about our kids. If every one of us as parents gave you back the child that has a disability, what would you do then? Where would you be then? We don't want to put them into homes. And the homes that are out there at the minute are being questioned. Services are being questioned, what they're doing with the money that's been given to. And there's services out there that don't get government funding. And by God, they're brilliant services. There's families out there and parents out there providing special funds, sensory things for the kids and social things for the kids so their kids can be included and have the life that they deserve. And they're wonderful. But again, it's the parents. So I'm urging all the ministers that are out there. And lots of you do know someone with a disability. Lots of you do know someone with an issue. It's to start looking at this. It's another huge crisis coming down the line. I'm bringing this forward now to you all. And I'm wanting you to solve this. I'm going to continue this fight. I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to not stop now. I've been very quiet. I've suffered in silence for too long. My family are suffering in silence for too long. And we're not accepting this anymore. I'm asking all my friends, please share this. I'm asking everyone, anyone you know that could hear this for us, please share it. We need this help urgently. Please do this for Dan. Thank you.